All right, we are live in the Seven Figure Coaches and Consultants and Visionaries Facebook group. I'm super excited because, guys, we have an amazing interview lined up today with a rock star client, Camila Vandino. And we're going to talk to her about so much cool stuff, so much crazy stuff. We're going to get into sales, tactics, strategies, all these different things, how she basically went from zero to $14,000 in just 30 days working together. We're going to talk about her journey there and all these different things. Camila, it's so great to see you again. And how are you doing?
Yeah, so I am in Colombia right now, in Bogota, Colombia. And this was our year for me and my partner to travel the world and be nomads. And when COVID hit, we were here visiting family. So yeah, I've been here a really long time, and our quarantine was just lifted like 3 weeks ago. So
awesome. Well, congrats. You can actually go outside now.
yeah, I know. I'm so excited. It's like going to the grocery store is such like an exciting thing now for me.
You guys had the lockdown furious out there. Like you guys
We were
had like
hardcore.
Yeah, no messing around. Yeah. Wild. Awesome. Well, yeah, Camila is joining me today, guys. She is in Seven Figure Visionary. She's going to, as a crazy, crazy story and background for you guys, she's done over $3.5 million in sales, high ticket sales by herself, working for another coach. And then at some point, right, what happened here, Camila, was like, you're like, wait, what am I doing making this person all of this money, all of the money? Why don't I start my own coaching business, right? And then, so when did you start your coaching business? It wasn't long ago. It was 2 or 3 months ago.
No, actually, it was longer than that. It was about a little over a year ago that I sort of branched out on my own and started taking in my own clients, consulting clients and coaching clients, but they were more one-on-one clients. So like this time last year, I had a bunch of one-on-one clients already. And that was really great because I finally got that, like, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supporting people the way that I want to support them in the areas that I know where they need the most help. So it just made sense, like that transition, absolutely made sense. And I really fell in love with the idea of helping people, but not just only in the sales process, right? Like helping them to actually come on board and enroll and come and join, the company that I work for, but really, in supporting now these entrepreneurs, especially women, they would have a really, really hard time with the sales process themselves because it was like something that felt so foreign, so strange to them. And yeah, so that felt really, really good. But then when COVID hit and I was here, and so many different things, were going on in the world and everything, I took a pause. I was actually working on a project with another coach. And I took a pause basically from my business completely. And I wasn't sure. I was like, well, I could just go back and work for someone else. I'm really good at sales. I know exactly how to do it. Maybe I can have a few clients or something, but I don't know. I wasn't sure. And so that's when I met you. Yeah.
Awesome. So then all of a sudden, and how did we met? How did we meet?
Nicole.
Nicole. Okay. So Nicole referred you over, right? And so then we hop on board, and then real quickly, you launch your coaching business. You go $0 to $14,000 in your first 30 days, which is awesome, insane. Well, tell us about this process, $0 to $14,000, what you were able to do in that short period of time. Let me ask you, why do people struggle with sales? Like you specifically coach female coaches and entrepreneurs. And later, guys, if you want to link, give us a hashtag link. We'll give you guys a link to Camila's Facebook group where you can learn a ton of awesome information about sales because she is a wizard. But tell us why do you think, men and women struggle with sales, but why do you think like your audience, women struggle with sales in particular, and how are you helping them through that?
Yeah. And that's the question, right? Like that's what everybody wants to know is, oh my gosh, how do I sell more? How do I get more people to actually come in conversations with me? Or once I do have people on the phone, people just say no, they give me the same objections all the time. And so I feel that probably the biggest like umbrella reason that people really struggle with sales is because they haven't figured out within themselves their own blocks around sales, like their own mindset, their own vibe. Because it's not just a mindset. The mindset, I talk to my clients a lot about this. The mindset is just the thoughts and the things that you do, which is great. Like we definitely need those things. But sales is an actual frequency. Sales is a vibe. It really is. And sales will always be about another strategy and another system and another script until people realize that there's an actual energy to money, and sales is an exchange of a huge exchange of energy where people are giving you their trust and their money so you can support them. Until people understand that, and then and if they don't realize that that there's this whole energy to sales and they think that it's just about the thing that you say, then they're really going to struggle. They might be able to have a little bit of success and they might be able to make some sales, but if it always feels like they're pushing a boulder up a hill, they're never really going to be able to have success long term. So I think that's the biggest thing, and that looks like many different things. It's like mindset, vibe, feeling, all of that. And then of course most people just have strategies that are just pretty bad. So there's the vibe, yeah, but you also have to have a system and a process that works for you and for your client.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be able to, and correct me if I'm wrong here in your point of view, but like you have to be able to walk people through how you're going to get them from point A to point B. And so an example like you can give, like if I told you, Camila, like, hey, tomorrow we're going to go hike a volcano in Bali. And it's this huge treacherous volcano. And do you trust me? I can get you to the top of the volcano because it's like super awesome views from the top and everything like that. If I told you that, you're going to be like, well, how are we getting to Bali? Can we even travel right now to Bali? Like, what do you know about volcanoes and hiking? Like, how dangerous is this, right? If I promised you to get you to the top of the volcano, but I didn't say how I was going to get you there, you're going to be like, I don't know. But if I was like, hey, Camila, I've done this before. I've been there before. Here's how many hundreds of people I've helped hike this volcano. And otherwise, here's the gear that we need and the flight schedules and things that we'll do. And like, here's photos from what it looks like at the top. Here's the end result, right? And showed you all that. Then you'd be like, okay, well, he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he demonstrated some expertise. He's a lot of other people have done this with him before. And now he's showing me the end result of the photos. It looks spectacular. I would love to post that on my Instagram that I've on the top of a volcano, right? That's kind of a different process. But let me ask you this question really quickly, and then we'll dive back into, I want to hear you talk more about sales because you are just an absolute killer. I think it's really interesting, right, that you've done $3.5 million in sales, and then you actually came to me and said, hey, Tino, I want to hire you as a coach inside Seven Figure Visionary. What was your mindset, and why did you decide to do that? Hire a coach?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a very decisive person, and I know because I've been in the coaching industry for a lot of years. When I started out, I was a health coach. It was completely different. But I've been in business and in sales, specifically in the corporate world, for 15 years. So I understand that in order to make money, you really have to be willing to invest in yourself and to walk with people that have had the success that you're looking for. So then later on, when I got back into coaching and, now in the business side of things and the sales side of things, instead of, in health coaching, I understood and I knew, because I've seen people grow and succeed and do things that don't make sense. They don't. and it's not supposed to. But if you want that, then you also have to make decisions that feel scary and that maybe to other people don't make sense, but you get it because you trust yourself and you know where you're going. So for me, I had been really doing some soul searching and deciding, like, is this really the thing I'm going to do? Like, am I really going to pursue, you know, my own coaching business, right? Having been in the coaching world for like 6 years, is this the thing I'm really going to do now completely 100% for myself? And so I found a couple different mentors that helped with different things. And the thing that I was looking for, exactly like I said, I meditated about it. I got super clear on the kind of support that I needed. And then I became very open to, you know, just very specifically seeing who can help me. And I interviewed several people. And yeah, I talked to a lot of different people, and I'm like, this sounds nice, but no. And again, like, I'm going through a sales process with a lot of these people. And it's like, if you're going to try to enroll me into your thing, like sell me into your program, and it's a thing that I know that I don't jive with, I'm not going to do it, because you're going to teach me the very same thing that you're doing that doesn't resonate with me. Mm-hmm. So when you and I spoke, I was very open with you about like where I was and what I needed. And it's kind of like one of those things that you just like, you know it. And it was like on the spot. I'm like, okay, great. I'm in. Hold on. Let me get my credit card. Like, let's do this. Because I just knew that this was like this is the thing that I needed and that I was looking for. I think I had so much clarity myself with what I needed that when it was here, it was just obvious. And then we just like hit the ground running, you know, like there was nowhere else to go from there. So
we moved fast. We moved fast real quickly. We got things cranking away for you, and your success has been incredible. And here's the thing, there's a lot of coaches out there that have these massive Facebook groups, right? Which is great. And that's amazing. But you were able to still do $14,000 in 30 days. And you were just kind of initially launching your Facebook group. You only had maybe 100 members in there. So just for some background information, right? Like for aspiring coaches out there, you can go 0 to 14K in 30 days and not have to have like 1 million followers or a huge email list and all this stuff. And one of the things that Camila does so well is we're selling high ticket programs and products and services and stuff, right? Like you weren't necessarily selling a $47 tripwire or a $200 1v1 session. I think you signed with like a 1v1 client or something like that for like $7,000 or something, $10,000 or something. Yep. So that's really important for people listening in, coaches that are doing the low ticket stuff and things like that aren't hitting your income goals. There's a reason why high ticket is better. So I know that you love high ticket. Tell us about why you love high ticket, Camila.
Oh, I could talk about this for so long. Yeah. So honestly, I think that I feel that high ticket offers are so great, are great for you and me. And, like as the entrepreneur, they're amazing because you get to make more money faster. You get to attract the people that are the most committed. These are the people that, for the most part, have already tried the $47 thing, and then the $97 upgrade to that, and then they bought the manual, and then they did this other thing, and they probably put it all on the shelf. They never even looked at it, right? And they have this problem that they need to be able to fix. They need that support. So when people have been through that process and they really need help, and all of a sudden here you come and you have, this beautiful solution to their problem that if they show up and they do their work, you feel really confident. You know that you're going to be able to give them the result that they're looking for. So you attract people that are very committed. You attract people that are going to show up as their best. They're going to give their best, which is really great for you and for them. And then people get the best of you too, because you feel really good. You don't feel like you're getting ripped off. Like, gosh, here's another client who's like haggling me. or someone else who's like telling me that my, 150 session is too much, you give your best because that, you're working with someone that really appreciates your work, right? So I think that those are some of the reasons that high ticket is really, really amazing. And actually selling high ticket, as opposed to like what so many people think out there, is not necessarily harder to sell at all. It's just not. It's not harder to sell. You just have to know how to do it. You have to really focus on, understanding the pain that they're in right now and the consequences of not fixing that, and then realizing and understanding where they want to be, kind of like what that ideal life, that heaven, that compelling future looks like for them. And then when you do that and you communicate that very clearly, you're doing something that most coaches don't know how to do out there. So everybody wins. They get amazing results, you make money faster. It's great.
Right. And I completely agree. It allows you to support your clients at a higher level when because you have the resources to do so. Like inside of Seven Figure Visionary, we're bringing on board yet another coach. So there's going to be 4 or 5 coaches inside there really soon, all with different areas of expertise, so that when Camila's ready to run Facebook ads, you can turn to our Facebook ads coach. You need help with organic, we have our organic coach. You need help with strategy and systems and team, you'll have me. We have a copywriter in there, so you can get all of the resources that you need in one spot. And we can't do that and deliver that experience and that transformation if we're selling low ticket. There's just not margins to do that, to have a team to do that. So there's so many different things that allows, helps your client in that regard. And then one of the things that I've realized, because I have coaches too, and I invest high ticket, is that it pushes you past your comfort zone. And it forces you to do things that you should be doing, but you've made excuses to do. And I think that's one of the, it's just so massive. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm spending all this money with this coach. And then, and they tell you to do something, you're like, okay, I need to go do that, even though I don't want to, right? Even though I'm afraid to raise my prices, even though I'm afraid to go after a different market, even though I'm afraid to do a bunch of Facebook Lives that I don't even want to, you're forced to, because you're paying a lot of money to a coach, right? So I think that's really cool, is it helps people pass otherwise procrastination, self-limiting beliefs, because they step out of their comfort zone. And so I just think that's another incredible thing about it. Let's talk about imposter syndrome for a moment, if you don't mind, Camila. This is a big one. I asked in our group recently, right, like who would want a training on imposter syndrome? And I was overwhelmed with the amount of responses. Even had some people reach out to me and say, hey, really, thanks for talking about that. He's like, because I think that's something that we all have struggled with. So what do you think? What do you think when it comes to coaches, that why do they have imposter syndrome? Why wouldn't somebody feel qualified to start their own coaching business? And do you have any suggestions around how people can get past imposter syndrome so that they feel worthy enough to charge a higher price, or feel worthy enough to start their dream, coaching business?
Well, you just said the magic word, which is worthiness. That is the word. That's really the topic, I feel, with imposter syndrome for a lot of people. And I've talked to literally thousands. I've done over 3,000 sales calls in my career, and that's a lot of conversations with a lot of different people. And so where a lot of times people get, they trip over themselves a little bit. It's like, well, I don't think people are going to buy from me. This is just, it's so much money. I don't think they're going to want to buy. Or maybe they think it's just going to be so much money that everybody's going to say no. And then what am I going to do? So a lot of times, and it's again, those limiting beliefs that are really, they belong to you. They're not true necessarily about Sally or Amy or John, who is really in need of your help and your support. So I think that one of those first things that we really need to do as coaches is, oh gosh, this is a kind of like a compound answer to this question, but it's really work again with coaches, like get mentorship, get support, get really clear on where maybe you feel that you're not totally okay to move forward right now with your business, with your offer, where you're maybe not totally fit to charge X, Y, or Z, and understand that this is your own issue and that it has nothing to do with the client, which is also another thing that I really bring up, when I teach sales, is that sales really has nothing to do with you. It really is all about the client. And so many times when people get in a sales conversation, they'll bring their, this big, fat, heavy rock of unworthiness. They'll put it right here. And then they'll, like get their backpack of like insecurity about something that they're not consciously aware of. And so they have this big, heavy, energetic weight that they bring to the calls. And then they try to say all these things, but then the energy is ultimately stronger. So one thing that we can definitely do is just understand that, it's not so much about us, it's about them. It's about our client, our potential client, and what's going to happen if this person doesn't get my help. Putting it all back onto them. And in terms of like the sales conversation, right? Like it's all about them. What happens if they don't get my help? Where are they going to be in 5 years? It's literally deciding to be courageous right now, to do the things that scare you, because you know that people out there need you, and you have to be willing to get out of your own way to support them and support yourself. So that, from that perspective, so I think that getting support and getting help from someone who has been there that can help you to identify your blocks is super important. But then I also feel that understanding that you have, if you do have, because I definitely qualify my clients, and if the person is just someone who wants to make money and they've heard that coaching is super successful and Tony Robbins has made, I don't know how many billions of dollars as a coach and all of that, and they just want to come in and like make some money, what do you have to offer? Like, do you have a skill that effectively solves a person's business, life, relationship, health? And I can identify that and ask questions to see if the person has that or not, pretty quickly. But if they don't, I don't work with them. And, very kindly and with lots of grace, then we don't work together. But if they do, it's just a matter of understanding that if you can really solve a person's problem, you definitely can, and you should charge a premium price for the solution that you offer. So it's a combination of mindset, mindset, energy, and then aligning very, very clearly with the specific result that you give your client. It's not about the how, it's not about your expertise, it's not about your titles or your degrees, or how many years you've been doing this. It's about, can I get this person to the end result? If the answer is yes, you can charge $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, $15,000.
I love it. I love it. And it's so interesting and key is that every single time, because one of the first things you said, if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, self-worthiness, to be a coach, to charge higher prices, whatever it is, the first thing you said, right, is that like you went ahead and you believe in investing in coaching and mentorship for that, right? Because you need a second pair of eyes on your business and on your mental health and what your thought process is, because we're all so busy. And I think so many people confuse being busy with being productive. They're like, yeah, I worked 8 hours today. I was in front of the computer for 8 hours, but they're on Facebook for 4, Instagram for 1, and they didn't do anything. They're just absorbing content. And so I just think it's so important to have that second set of eyes inside your business and that mentorship. And here's what's amazing too, is that when you invest at an uncomfortable level, then you level up so fast, so much faster, because your brain kicks into hyperdrive. I think this is so interesting, but we only use 2% of our brain. So when all of a sudden we're okay, I need to figure something out, or I need to make a bunch of money back from this investment, we actually do it. Or again, you actually do the work that you otherwise would be too lazy or would want to procrastinate or don't want to do. So I just find that so interesting and as a concept and stuff. But let me ask you this, Camila, as we kind of wrap up here. You did $14,000. What is your goal for the end of this year? What are you aiming for inside your business?
Ooh.
And also, where can we find more information about you so that we can keep track of you and everybody can, I'll drop a link beneath this video training to Camila's Facebook group.
Yeah. Okay, so it's September, right? This is already going to be another record month, but I'm just gonna, I see the things lined up. So we'll be celebrating that at the end of the month for sure. And then after that, so we'll have October, November, December. Yeah, so from here on out, I feel really comfortable adding about maybe another 180 to maybe 180,000. That would be freaking awesome. That is my goal. And we hadn't talked about this, so.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. We need to outline this. I know exactly how we'll get it done. But yeah, we'll talk about this in further detail. We'll game plan this one out.
Totally. No, I'm super excited. I mean, there's great things happening right now.
It's only 18 sales of a 10K product.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and there's a couple of those for my private coaching right now in the works. There's a nice 7K payment coming in now that should be hitting tonight or tomorrow. So that's really exciting. And yeah, so then right now I'm actually running my one of my programs, Fem Sales Accelerator, that is actually running right now. And then we're going to be getting ready to launch my mastermind here coming up pretty soon, as well as some high level private clients, which I just love. I really, really love those clients. So I absolutely feel that's something that we're going to be able to create and manifest and bring in. And then about where people can find me and learn more, the Facebook group. I mean, that's where I feel so much happens. There's lots and lots of value that I provide in there. I do about 3 trainings per week, live trainings. There's a lot of interaction. The women in there are incredible. So yeah, super, super talented women in there. And if anybody would like to come join the group, check out what we're about, check out what I'm doing. If you want to increase your prices, if you're stuck in low ticket limbo and have no idea how to increase your prices, then I'd love to show you my methodology. I'm super woo-woo, so I'm all about, vibe, energy, frequency, all of those different kinds of things. I play in that realm all the time. And yeah, then sales, obviously, what do you do? How do you sell? How do you make more money? How do you enjoy the process? Because for women, I think it's especially important to really fall in love with the process of selling. It feels so icky and so yucky for so many people. And if you're not at least appreciating and respecting money and respecting sales, you're not really going to get very far. So anyway, that all happens in the group. The group, it's called the Money Lab, high ticket sales for female coaches and entrepreneurs.
Yeah, if you guys want to link to Camila's Facebook group, just drop off. If you guys are watching the replay and so forth, just drop off hashtag Facebook group. We'll give you guys a link to join her Facebook group. But Camila, I'm excited about working with you to close out the year with another 180K cash collected. I know exactly how we are going to do this. I think we're gonna sneak in some Facebook ads as well. But yeah, I think 18 sales at 10K will get you there. So we'll game plan about that. But thanks so much for hopping on board, my friend. It's been amazing chatting with you. It's been awesome working with you the last 30 days, seeing you go from 0 to 14K, launching your coaching program. And so congratulations, and we'll keep crushing it. And we'll chat with you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And yeah, it's been super, super fun. I can't wait to do another one of these later on with, even more to share. So thank you.
Awesome. We'll be doing we'll be doing a bunch more of them, because I know that you're going to be leveling up super, super fast. So we'll come back with updates when Camila's doing 30, 40, 50K. That will be very, very soon. I'm sure of it. So Thanks, Camila. We'll chat with you soon, my friend.
Thank you. Bye.